Happy 4th of July, or Happy Independence Day. My name is Tara. You are watching the Daily Nail, my weekday daily nail show. Here today, even though it's a holiday. I'm gonna do a manicure for One Color Wednesday tomorrow. And I'm gonna go pretty simple. Every nail is gonna be the same. We're gonna use a thermal dip that I've never used before, from a company whose dips I've only used one other time. But I had fallen in love with one particular dip, so I went to the website, ended up buying like 5 dips. And that company is Polish'd Glam. It might have been Etsy now that I think about it. But it's polished without an E at the end of polished. So like polish apostrophe D. This is the dip we're going to use today. It's called Fizzy. And doesn't really look like too much when you look at it. It's actually like a deep purple with teal shimmer. But oh my, when this baby warms up, hold on, I'll get it for you. I'll show you. I've never used it, so I was like, oh, this is really pretty. Yeah, this is why I bought this dip. So it goes into a pink. And then, of course, it has that teal shimmer. Maybe it's a magenta, I'm not quite sure, but either way, we'll find out. So let's pull up the live.
Got the things he was looking for, put them in his bag, slung it over his shoulder, and then began the long, slow walk back home.
First, I gotta go into YouTube.
March 21st, the phone rang inside the police station near where
Here we go. Here it is.
lived. And so a sergeant picked up the phone, and on the other line,
Hi, Mallory. Happy
who called
4th.
himself Charles Smith,
How are
in
you?
a very gruff voice, he told the sergeant that there was a dead body.
I just put my peel base on, so it's gonna be a couple minutes.
Huge tip. The sergeant was skeptical because the police were aware of the fact that there were lots of rumors floating around about.
Why does it say waiting for the Daily Nail?
I mean, Langley's going out at night, bag over his shoulder, and going to look at dumpsters.
Hold on
in
1 second.
Brooklyn.
I'm gonna see.
I mean, they were also kind of reclusive, and the windows outside of the
Should be live right now.
with wood and metal, and so people were kind of on.
Here we go. Okay, I found it. I was in the wrong thing. And so were you, Mallory. Hope you find me, girl.
Uber calls, going and checking it out, only to discover that they were not true.
All
So the
right.
sergeant said to Charles Smith, well, how do you know there's a dead
We'll
body?
wait for some people to join while my nails dry. So every week on Instagram, if you're not familiar, our friend Allie, her handle is Allie Nails It, posts One Color Wednesday, hashtag One Color Wednesday. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, you guys, I'm pretty sure Together We Manny is Friday. It's always the first Friday of the month, but I have no idea what the theme is. I haven't seen anything. So if any of you have, please relay that information to me, please. Hi, Patty. It was the weirdest thing, but there was like a thing for people waiting, and like it said the Daily Nail is going live, so I clicked on it, and Mallory was there, and she was like, morning, and I'm like, morning, but I look up at the screen, and I'm not moving. It's like just a frozen screen. So I exit out of that, and I click on the Daily Nail, and it takes me to this one where I'm moving. So I hope Mallory finds her way here.
This 5-minute quiz can tell you what your body actually needs to lose weight.
I don't think I need this anymore. No, that was for June.
My husband's lost 20 pounds just because of what's not in the house anymore.
Strawberry lemonade, so good.
A psychological approach to retraining your thinking.
Probably not as good as like a homemade strawberry lemonade, but still. This brand of lemonade has actual like lemon pulp in it, you know what I mean? It's not like,
So good to take care of.
so it's like, it feels like it's real lemonade.
You want to feel better about yourself. You want to try new.
Yeah, I wanted to do a thermal today. I have this gorgeous moon dust glitter,
And so because the sergeant
but
did not necessarily
it's chunky glitter, and I was like, oh, I don't want to put that on every finger, but I can't wait to use it. Want to see it? I can't remember the name off the
Make its way over and basically
So remember, I had placed an order to moon dust, so I have a good amount. Well, not a good amount, but it's a decent amount to start me off with. You know what I mean?
Even though it was every bit a mansion.
Ooh, this is the one I was contemplating using. It's called Eclipse. Look at that. Super, super gorgeous. This was the first mani I ever did. I used this in my mani verbena. Super pretty. I don't think I've used this one yet, Hydrangea. That's gorgeous. And then I got, those ones were actually sent to me. Those were my mani dips to do manis with. And then like these ones, I think, were ones that I ordered. So a lot of like bright summery colors, you know. And then, yeah, again, sticking with the brights. I used this orange and that peekaboo last week with the white. It's really pretty coral, and that's what it's called, coral. That's called sorbet. This was a freebie, and it's a really pretty purple glitter. This is XOXO. It's a thermal and a glow. I've used it already, but it gets to a lighter pink. You thought about nail candy? What, doing nail candy? Look, I'm still wearing my necklace. I've been wearing it every day. I put my watch in my backpack when we went to the beach, and I still haven't taken it out. I keep forgetting. I wanted to do it this morning. Check out my earrings, Patty.
Langley wasn't just an accomplished scientist. He was also just incredible.
Can you see them?
In fact, he was such a talented
The rainbow feathers. I think they're the cutest things ever.
But despite their
I have a few pairs. I got them off of Temu of different, they're rainbow style earrings. Ones are like, has a palm tree and a sun setting in a circle, and they're rainbow like this. And then another pair that are just like kind of like bohemian, like big shaped earrings. What dip are you gonna use?
He was only 55 at the time, and really he was at the height of his career.
Yeah, so this is the mani that I did last night, Patty. This dip actually has like a light green hue to it, but you can't really tell, you know, when it's on. But that's not it. Hold on, let me find it. This is it. I think the reason it has that light green hue is because the shimmer in this dip, although it looks white sometimes, it also looks green sometimes, you know. This might be my favorite of the collection, but I don't know. I haven't used the pink one yet, which I think is gorgeous too. They're all just pastel iridescent glitters, you know what I mean? And you could use them as a topper over a darker color or even a light color to give it like glitter, you know what I mean? But two dips is all I've done on both times. I've used two of the colors, the yellow and then that white, this one. I just did two dips of color.
Depression can mean you don't enjoy the things you used to love. You can't focus, feel guilty when you should.
But you know me, I couldn't just leave them plain. I had to put something on them.
A prescription medicine for adults with depression. It's been proven to treat the overall symptoms.
The pink and purple. Okay, wait. This pink one, and then are you talking about the one that has those purple flashes? This one, because it looks like a pink base, but it's flashes purple.
Increased risk of bleeding may occur, especially if taking
that one. I'll send you some. This one's called Prism, and then the pink one is called Shimmer. I know I just just showed it
Because
to
your
you.
constipation info.
I'm going to talk to my doctor again. about
Okay.
Trintellix.
Let me write it down.
Ask your doctor if Trintellix could be
I
right for
can
you.
get those out to you
If
soon.
you're fed up
Well,
with
not
life,
today.
everyone
No
else
mail.
in school has one.
Tomorrow. I
Get
have
your kids a telephone
so many gifts
that
I
will
gotta
give
send
them
Mallory. I
minutes
feel
to text
horrible. I haven't
and
mailed them
data
yet.
they want at prices you can handle.
I'll put it right over
Plans
here on
start at $5 a
priorities.
month for a basic talk and text only.
I offered to
Or
send
you can get
Tara
2
some too
gigabytes
if she
for
wanted.
$14 a month and ramp up
Just
the data
those
as
two,
you go along.
Patty?
No contract, no fees. Build the perfect
Prism
cell phone
and
for
Shimmer,
your
those
kids
are the
without
names.
compromising their college fund at tello.com.
And so fast forward back to March 21st, 1947.
Maybe I'll get my ass and be able to get Mallory's stuff out.
This dilapidated mansion.
Oh, yeah, I saw real quick your message, something about cutting up vegetables or something. Right? Is that what you're doing? Poor Brit, I messaged her this morning, or just a little while ago, and she's sick with a fever. She feels awful. She's sick in bed. I feel horrible for her, you know, a day off from work, and she's sick in bed. I said, I wish I lived close by. I'd bring you popsicles and ginger ale. And that I hope she feels better really quick.
And then began pounding with his shoulder against the door. And pretty quickly, the door gave way. But it only opened a few inches.
You don't know which color?
Through it, but it was too big. Couldn't
Some of all of them?
was able to get
All right.
And he saw there was this huge man-made
That'll
wall
have to be in two separate packages.
right inside of the mansion, blocking the front door from opening more than a couple of inches. And so as the officer
Well,
was
two
thinking
separate
about
envelopes.
why there would be this wall cleaner, he began to smell this terrible smell coming out of the mansion. And at that point, the officer thought, okay, there could be a dead body in here. I don't know what's going on. And so he called for backup. When backup arrived, a group of officers attempted to smash the front door in.
Yeah, I really like the collection. I think it's versatile, you know. So I got both the boys home. They were a little surprised I was doing a live today, but I gotta do my nails anyway, you know. So, I think this is gonna look really pretty. I hope it does. No, she wasn't here yesterday. I don't think she was online much. Doing laundry too.
Seated in a chair in this alcove on the second floor. He only had on
Hey, you know, YouTube gives me the option of like going live with people. So we should one of these days you should come live with me and we'll both do manis and chat
for about 10 hours.
if you want.
Despite looking around the mansion for him, they couldn't find him. It was like he had just vanished into thin air. And so pretty
That would
quickly,
be fun.
the police became suspicious of Langley because they couldn't find him.
Oh, you found us, Mallory. Wasn't that weird? So like I was talking to you and I'm looking at the screen and it's just saying like that we're waiting. So I'm like, well, I'm already live, so that doesn't make sense. So I exited out, clicked on the Daily Nail, and it took me right to this. So I was like, oh my God, we're in two different places. I was like, I hope Mallory finds us. Nixon, Dominic's on his computer with his earbuds in, I think. And Nick's in the kitchen.
So as police agencies all across the East Coast search for
I know, poor Mallory. I'm sorry, hon.
detectives in New York,
So I'm gonna do Polish'd Glam for One Color Wednesday tomorrow. A thermal that I've never used. Mallory, you missed it, but this is what it looks like. It doesn't really look spectacular on its own. Up close, there is teal shimmer in it, and it's like a deep purple color to start when cold. I can't remember if this is a triple thermal, but for some reason I think it is. It's called Fizzy.
Well, that man-made wall was not constructed.
But look how pretty it changes.
Brick or wood.
So I'm just putting this on every nail. And because it's a thermal, I don't even think it's going to feel like it needs anything else, you know?
This trash wall started right in front of the inside of the front
Well,
door.
we'll see, maybe a purple bow or something.
Except there really wasn't any
Yeah, when your internet is fixed, Patty.
inside of this mansion, not the second floor, first, third, fourth, nowhere.
Mallory, what are you doing
Because
today?
every
We have an
surface inside
80%
this
chance of
mansion was
rain. So, like, it's
covered
not currently
wall-to-wall,
raining now,
floor-to-ceiling in
but
trash. Things like 14 broken pianos.
the 4th of July fireworks were supposed to be on the 2nd, and those got rained out. But it was lame last year. Like, they had a few food trucks and they had some bands playing, but there was nothing much else to do, you know. I think we're good to go, ladies. So something very simple today. This would be good, you know, for a beginner maybe to watch, or somebody unfamiliar with thermals. Like I said, this has super shimmer. Oh yeah, look at, you can see how it changes to that magenta color. So I'm gonna put the dip in a cupcake liner to catch any spillage. I am gonna start by dipping right into the jar until about the middle nail, and then maybe we'll start pouring over.
But instead, they had created all these.
You have family coming over later for a cookout, but nothing crazy. Oh, did you guys go to the fireworks on Saturday, Mallory? So do you have nice weather today?
And it was when the police were inspecting one of these tunnels with booby traps in it that they discovered.
And how are the kids doing? And how are you doing? More importantly, how are you handling everything? Not too stressed. I mean, you manage it. I'm just gonna pour over, actually.
Constant Contact delivers the marketing tools your small business needs to keep up, excel, and grow. Constant Contact.
Have you guys tried anything from Polish'd Glam before?
Based on that big clue, here is the leading theory about what happened to Homer and Langley Cullen. Back on March 9th, 1947, so the night that Langley...
So yeah, there was like one dip I had seen, and it was called Prism, and actually, no, it was a duo, and it was paired with a thermal, really gorgeous. So I went on, I think she's on Etsy, but I'm not positive. She might have a website. Anyway, I went to her site and ordered that duo and a few other dips, and this was one of them. I did use the duo. That's great coverage. Oh, it's really pretty. Okay. I got Mr. Baldwin playing in the background. It's not true crime. Mallory, did you watch anything on that border patrol agent case? Probably not. You've probably been busy, huh? I think it will be back tomorrow.
Got them from this dumpster, fed them to Homer. And Homer, he too believes
there's so many cases going on. And then I was watching a lot of stuff on that Corey Richins case, the wife who was accused of poisoning her husband with fentanyl. And then she wrote a children's book about grieving. Oh, you didn't? You didn't go to the fireworks, you mean?
Up to the second floor, and then he began the most dangerous part of his journey from one side of the second floor to the other where Homer was. Basically, Langley needed to crawl through a 2-foot wide tunnel he had built through all the junk and trash, but it was lined with booby traps. In particular, there was a nasty trap.
Yeah, last year our fireworks weren't that great, and we had to walk down and walk back, so I doubt we'll go this year.
The lowest box, they would come crashing down on it. Now, Langley had made this journey countless times. This is how he went to see his brother every single day. So he went through this tunnel. But on this day, as he no-crawled his way through the tight tunnel in the trash, he accidentally knocked the lowest metal box. The boxes tumbled down on him and pinned him to the ground. Now, these boxes were very heavy, but they were not heavy enough to kill someone. It would just pin them down. It would be impossible to get out from under them. So Langley, very likely, after getting trapped, called out for his brother, Homer, who was actually only 10 feet away from him, But Homer was blind, he was sick, he had absolutely no energy because all he ate was oranges that was basically killing him. And so he couldn't even
Oh, you haven't tried
let alone
Polish'd
go see
Glam?
his brother.
Oh,
So
the
for
boys
7
liked them.
agonizing hours,
Yeah, it
he
wasn't
tried to
too loud for them.
brother until the weight
We
of
have
all the
headphones
losses
for
really
Dominic, but now he
crushed him.
doesn't use them. But when he was younger, like we got them for him for Monster Jam we went to, and then we would use them for fireworks or anywhere, you know, that was loud we were going to.
While he likely listened to the sound of rats eating his brother's body. The big clue that the police found that broke this case wide open is they actually spotted Langley's white
Super
footprint
pretty.
picked clean by the rats, jutting up out of this trash tunnel 10 feet away from home. When the police had first searched the mansion,
Good job
it was
applying
so
it on
full of
that nail for me.
that they never saw this boat, just kind of blended in. But 18
Hope
days
Michelle had a good
Homer
night last
realized that
night,
Langley
right? With her parents and then her hubby
Absolutely, Charles Smith tipster
for her
police
birthday
thought had to be
dinner.
Langley calling in after he had murdered his brother. Well, it wasn't Langley because Langley was dead at the time this tip came in. And so Charles Smith was a real person who very likely just walked past the mansion and he probably caught a whiff of the smell of rotting dead bodies, and so he called it in. 4 months after Homer and Langley were found dead inside of their maze of trash, their mansion was declared a fire hazard and demolished. Today, there is a small park called the Collier Brothers Park, and it's filled with nothing but a couple of trees and a bench. So that's going to do it. If you enjoyed today's story, be sure to check out our podcast called the Mr. Baller Podcast, where we have hundreds more stories just like this one, but many of them are only on the podcast.
Let's brush off, and then you can see it's starting to change up at the cuticles. It's applying really nicely.
Find your next possibility. Podcast.com.
So for anybody who's never watched me before, I'm using dip liquids. This is the dipping system here. Dip is a form of acrylic, but instead of applying it with monomer, you use a resin system. You apply it with base coat. And then instead of it, you know, monomer and the acrylic harden, you know, naturally and just air, you put a liquid called activator on these nails to harden them. So you'll see the process as we go through it. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Okay.
Come to the right place because that's all we do. We upload once a week. So,
All right. So we're going to do a second layer of dip. You're pretty much always going to want to do at least two layers of color to ensure proper coverage, you know, full coverage. Sometimes even a third layer, depending on if you want that added strength or if the color is, you know, more sheer. Okay, so I'm just going to lay my finger flat into the powder, and I'm going to be careful not to hit the bottom of the cupcake liner. I really like laying flat into powder. It like pretty much guarantees you're not going to have any waves or bumps in your dip powder, which you can get by dipping straight into a jar, you know.
About 30 minutes later, all 176 passengers, which included the 13 crew members, had made it on board.
But I will still dip into a jar.
Began making their final preparations for takeoff. Flight 401 was a very expensive and
Peel these here.
introduced model plane by Western Airlines called Lockheed L-1011 Tri-Star, and it was both unbelievably technological.
Were the fireworks good, Mallory? Patty, what time? So, Patty, are you chopping vegetables to take with you today? Patty's going. I didn't realize she was so close in Alabama to Mississippi, but she is, and they have family and friends. I know at least they have friends there. But I think they're headed to Mississippi today.
One person inside of them in the back of the aircraft. And down
Okay,
on
let's
this lower level was a
do
full-size
dip
kitchen
number
with
2 here. So
refrigerators.
right now
Also,
I'm
at the
putting
back
on
of this
the
lower
dip
level
base,
was a
it is sticky, so you know you don't want to get it on your skin if you can help it.
Strikingly handsome 55-year-old man.
Okay, let me just shake that out. I'm gonna lay flat. Kind of just rock my fingers side to side, make sure my sidewalls and everything are done. Now I'm going to use what is called a precision tool to clean up my cuticle area. This is a great tool. It definitely helps cut down on filing time.
First officer, co-pilot, a man named Brooke Stockstill, had joined him in the cockpit and sat down in the customary co-pilot seat, which was directly to the right of Captain Bob. And so after the pilot and co-pilot were both seated, the remaining two members of that night's cockpit crew...
And we're just going to go through and do this again on every nail. So this is really something you truly can do at home that lasts, you know, weeks. You can dip your natural nails. You can do tips. I wear gel tips. So whatever you like, you know.
Sat down in the seat right behind the co-pilot Bert, and then
you can dip over it.
The last man came into the cockpit. It was 47-year-old Angelo Donadeo. Angelo was not actually part of that night's flight crew. However, he was an employee of Eastern Airlines, and that night he needed to get to Miami, and so the company had put him on Flight 401.
You can dip over builder gel. If you like builder gel, you know, underneath to strengthen your nails.
Passengers were seated, as was the crew, and so Captain Bob began taxiing over to the runway.
And there's so many quality small businesses out there with thousands and thousands of dip powders for you to choose from. And they're unlike anything you're going to find in a salon, you know what I mean, as far as glitters and uniqueness. That's like one of the best things about dipping, you know. You can't get these looks with just nail polish.
To mail this letter to Eastern Airlines. But at 11:32 p.m., so 2 hours and 12 minutes after takeoff, this flight would go from being very routine.
Yeah, you're gonna visit and eat, right? Yeah. What time are you leaving?
Captain Bob began his approach to Miami International Airport, but when he lowered the plane's...
Are you making something to bring? I'm assuming you are. So they're going to have, I think, a cookout.
They have wheels that come down under the right wing, and they have wheels that pop out of the nose of the plane. And each of these...
Do any of you guys know about this Corey Richens case? This woman accused of murdering her husband with fentanyl. It's out of Utah. He died in 2022, like in March of 2022, and she was charged like a year later. And then she had a bail hearing maybe last week, and she was denied bail, so she stays in jail, as she should. But there's a strong case against her, I'll say that.
So the likelihood of the nose landing gear being faulty was incredibly slim. And so Captain Bob, while maintaining his approach towards Miami International, he retracted the landing gear. And
this
once it had come
dip
back
is
to the plane,
beautiful.
he just lowered it again, thinking this time all three lights would come on. But once again, once the landing gear was deployed the second time, still the nose landing gear light did not come on. And so frustrated, Captain Bob hopped on the radio and contacted Miami Air.
Remember, be careful that your finger doesn't hit the bottom, because that will give you a bump in your nail too. And even if you get a bump, it's not the end of the world, because the dip's not entirely set here. You would have time to actually kind of pat it down with your finger to make it a little smoother, and then with filing and buffing, you're not even going to notice it by the end of the mani.
And so once Flight 401 was out over the Everglades flying in a circular pattern, Captain Bob and his co-pilot set the plane to
Okay.
autopilot so that it would maintain
I'm
a
gonna put
constant
this
altitude
away.
of
That's
2,000
always the
feet
first thing I
and a
do
constant
so I
speed
don't
of
spill
200
the
miles
dip.
per hour. And so once the plane was all set, Captain Bob and his co-pilot
Oh, you're not eating, Patty? I thought you were going there to eat.
light bulb, which they were convinced
Oh, they're
was
fishing?
And so they started pressing on the light. That didn't work. They began twisting it.
Yeah,
That
she's
didn't
the
work.
one
They
who
actually
wrote the
pulled
book,
the light
Patty.
bulb off the panel.
A children's
They
book
were drawing off of
called
it,
Are
and
You
they
Still
aimed it
With
back
Me?
against the panel.
About
As soon as they
grieving
did,
over
not
a
only
lost
did it not go
parent
far,
or
but they
whatnot.
realized they had put it in sideways, so they
She
couldn't
said she
actually
wrote it with
navigate.
her kids, but I don't think that's true. I think she hired a company to write it for her.
Way to make sure the nose landing gear has come down. And so Captain Bob at this point was
So this is what they look like after
and so
2
turns
dips.
around and
Super
looks at Don
pretty.
Rico, the flight engineer,
My hand's
sitting right
warm,
behind
so
the
this is
co-pilot,
probably
and
what
tells
they're
Don
gonna
to
look
go
like. I don't
down into
imagine
the
it's
hellhole
gonna get
and
any
directly
pinker unless I
inspect
run
the
my
front
fingers
landing
under
gear
hot
itself.
water, you know.
So the hellhole is a
But
space
wow,
right
that
below the cockpit.
shimmer is
And when
like
you get to it, there's a
everything in
great
this
trap
dip,
door
though.
floor in the center of the cockpit.
Okay,
And then
let's
once
use
down
some
in the
color. My
hellhole,
world
there is
dip's
this
clear.
window that looks straight towards the front of the aircraft.
I don't think
where
I
you can
have
look
a
out and
clear,
actually see
like
the
that
front
has
landing gear,
exactly
and you can
0
make sure it's
borders in
not
it.
not. And so Don Repo, he gets out of the seat, he opens up the hellhole trap door, and he makes his way down below.
Oh, my
Meanwhile,
hypnotic one
2,000
looks
feet
good. Let's
below
use that.
Flight 401, a 43-year-old man named Robert Marquise, along with a friend of his, were looking for frogs in the Everglades, riding around on Robert's
Oh,
airboat.
alright.
An airboat is a flat-bottom boat with this huge fan on the back of it that propels it forward. It's popular in the Everglades because the water depth is so shallow. At points in the
So
Everglades,
after
the
you
water's
apply
only
your
1
color
and so all
dip
around these two
powder,
guys, it is totally pitch black.
you may
There are
want
no
to
buildings or
encapsulate
people
in
for
clear.
miles and miles and
This will
miles.
add
Very light source
an
is Robert's
extra
head.
layer
And so at
of
some point,
strength,
Robert turns off the
stronger
airboat,
than
and here is
the
Fred
colored
on
dip
the
powder.
middle of it, kind of scanning
Clear
around
clear
on the
acrylic is
side.
stronger than
And
colored
all
acrylic.
around them, you can hear the sound of alligators growling, snakes and frogs moving
I'm just
about
gonna
the tall
dip right
grass.
into the
And
jar.
as they're just kind of silently looking around them,
But it will also protect your color from filing. It will protect your buffer and your files from changing color. It will protect your liquid bottles from getting discolored.
This flash dissipated and it was just totally gone. And so he turned to his friend who had not seen this flash. And Robert said,
So
"Hey,
I
let's
would
go
recommend
investigate and see what it was."
encapsulating
And so
every
Robert fired
Manny.
up his boat again, and he began flying across the Everglades straight in the direction of where he saw this flash. And after 15 minutes of cruising at 40 miles per hour across this dark expanse, they reached the area where this flash had been.
You like it,
And Robert and his
Patty?
friend, they just could not believe what they were looking at. About 20 minutes earlier, back
Well,
inside of Flight 401,
she had all these
Captain
life
Bob
insurance
turned
policy. Well, she had been
to tell the
stealing
flight
money
engineer
from
Don
him.
Rico
She opened
to go
credit
down
cards in his
hellhole.
name and
It's
stuff,
believed that Captain
just
Bob
stealing money
nudged
from
the
him.
steering
And
wheel with his leg. And this little nudge was enough
I don't
to
know.
push
So
it
they were
into
having
plane
issues, but he
autopilot,
wanted it
which
to work
sent
for
the
the
plane
kids. And
into a
also,
black
she
hole
thought she
descent.
was trying to
But
poison him.
nobody
And she
knows
had tried
because,
once
one, it
before.
was totally pitch black outside.
And it
The
was,
Everglades
he
below
told
them,
a
there's
friend
no
about
lights, there's
it.
nothing, and there was no
So
moon that night. And so when they're looking out the
there's
window,
that.
there would have been no visual cues
But
that
then they
ground
also have
upright,
text
which would look
messages
like it's
between
going
her
through
and the
outside.
woman she
And
went
two,
through to
the
get the
descent
fentanyl.
now suddenly in was so gradual,
They
it
talked
would
to
not
the
affect
drug
like they were
dealers.
tumbling out of
She
the
wrote a
sky.
check
People
for
felt
it
like they were just cruising
to
as
the
expected.
woman
And three, all of the men in
who
the
cashed
cockpit
it and then
were
went to the
completely
drug dealer. You
fixated
know what
on
I
this
mean?
light bulb problem. In fact, they
Stupid.
were so fixated that when an alarm went off inside of the cockpit, telling them they had dipped below their intended altitude.
The
of
day after
2,000
he
feet,
died, she had a
now
party
going down.
to
Nobody
celebrate the
noticed.
closing on a
Although
$2 million home that he did not want her, that he didn't want them to buy. She was like a house flipper.
The hellhole, the plane crashed into the Everglades. No one on board Flight
yeah,
401,
so
from the cockpit crew to the passengers to the other flight staff, had any idea.
also
until they
she went into, like, him and his coworker, they owned a stonemasonry business, and they each had $2 million life insurance policies on each other. And she went in and changed the policy to make herself the beneficiary. But then she got nervous and like changed it back, and the bank noted it and everything. They know it was her, all this, so there's a lot of evidence against her. That's going to be a good case.
Crashed into the ground at over 200 miles per hour. It had not struck the ground at a very.
But this Border Patrol one, this guy better be found guilty. It's a death penalty case, you guys.
And so that, combined with the soft, muddy ground of the Everglades, meant that the impact of the plane hitting the ground was not nearly as violent as other.
So you see, every time, if I think it needs it, sometimes even if I don't think it needs it, I will go around my nail and clean up the whole cuticle area. Now we can brush off the excess clear on the nails.
Began to scan, and he saw all these body parts sticking out of the ground, and then his light rested on the.
Now that we've finished the dip powder application part, the next step is to use activator, which is what I had mentioned earlier, that cures dip powder. So it's going to harden it and make it ready for filing and buffing.
Hitting this man's upper body and most of his face.
Hey Janet, how are you, girl? Happy 4th. I got a glitter. Oh, is it gone? All right, it's gone. Yay. I don't know what happened here, but a little scuff.
Ran over to this guy and pulled the chair up and out of the water, saving this guy's life. But as soon as he was up and out of the water, Robert and his friend began hearing more calls from other people in the
Trying to get this glitter out of here.
Robert and his friend would do their absolute best to save as many people as they possibly could, but there was just too many people.
I think I got it.
And not enough time.
All right, I don't see any other glitters. Sticking with another brand of activator, so I don't have to deal with that white at the free edge. So here it is in cold form. You can see it's like black almost at the bottom, right? So this is a triple thermal. And then it gets to like a magenta color when it's warm.
Angelo Dondeo, the fourth man in the cockpit, as well as Jerry Escal, the man who ironically had written that letter to Eastern Airlines saying how wonderful that flight had been. A major investigation following the crash would confirm that the reason Flight 401 went down was because of a number of factors.
Happy 4th of July, Janet.
The investigation would
And
also
anybody else if I
confirm
missed
that the
saying
nose
it to
that
you.
was working perfectly fine. The light bulb not coming on was a result of the light bulb being removed.
Oh, they look pretty cool, right? Like this
Eastern
too.
Airlines would make every effort to compensate
Wow.
the survivors of the crash and
Okay.
also families of those who
On
were
my
killed.
pinky, you can actually almost see all three colors, like the pinkish fuchsia color in there, and then the purple, and then the black.
To ensure this type of disaster.
But only on my
never happened.
pinky.
But this was not the end of the story. For
It'd be awesome if I could get all three colors in pictures like that. Very pretty.
I was recently eating lunch with a
While
friend
I'm
of mine
waiting
who
on
was
these
on the
to
road.
activate,
When he
let's
asked
take
me,
a quick
"John,
look at my
what's
gel
your biggest
polishes and see if I have
Now,
purple
ever
that
since I
would
was a
match.
literal newborn baby, I had a huge dream, but I've always been too scared to commit to it. But for some reason, when my friend Inuskapog asked me this question, I felt this euphoria growing inside of me. And then before I could stop myself, I blurted out the truth. I want to create a mildly effective...
I know I have.
I want to make it mildly effective.
I have this purple, and I think I have a purple from Lux.
My friend could react to this revelation. I turned and left head first.
That would kind of match. I mean, I don't even have to do purple, right? I could do pink or fuchsia if I have that color.
But instead, he was standing on our table doing a jig.
Huh, there's not that many pinks or reds in here. This is a polish, not a gel.
So go I I did.
That
after a
one.
quick salute to the gang, I turned and I ran directly into traffic. And for 97
I don't
miles,
know.
I
Maybe
ran
we'll do
along the
both
freeway
and see
until I
which
got to
one looks
Chicopee,
better.
Massachusetts, where I climbed up into a tree and I fired up my coal-powered laptop.
They're both
and I got
pine
to work on
gels, so
my
let me
business.
just grab my
But pretty
gels.
quickly, I learned putting together a mildly effective
After I
protest
gotta find them.
exclusively
Okay.
out of Egyptian fire ants was going to be very
See.
time-consuming. And so
Here's my
where would I
really
find the
cute.
time
Oh,
to
yeah, they
eat?
are.
And that's when I discovered HelloFresh, an amazing meal service.
Oh, I can
that
do
serves
it with my
incredible
gel
food right
polishes
to your
too.
door.
Duh. I mean, my gel
So
liners. I wasn't even thinking of
Or
those.
with developing your own fire-related products, then
Hold on real quick. Let me check out what the
they have a
purple
complete
looks
selection of
like.
30+ recipes and
This is their
70+
purple one.
convenience items, including vegetarian, pescatarian,
That might work.
fit and wholesome meals, which make it easy
I might
to stick
use
to your
that.
goals.
The
HelloFresh
green
is
gel
also
on it.
up to
I think I'm going to use
70%
that one.
cheaper than dining out at a restaurant or going grocery shopping. So if you're like me, and
Maybe
you
we'll
want
try a
spending
purple
calls,
too,
both
just for the.
bakers
Oh, that
chained
is
to
the
a chair
purple.
working nonstop
Oh,
on a
and
coal-powered
we'll do a
computer,
pink one
or
too,
you're just
and we'll see
regular
what
busy, then give
looks
HelloFresh
better.
a try. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code MrBallin16 for 16 free meals across 7
Oh, I'm
boxes
trying to hook it.
and
There we
3
go.
free gifts.
All right.
Again, that's HelloFresh.com and use
Sorry,
code
Pine, you're not
MrBallin16
getting
for
used
16
today.
free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. Okay?
Oh, you on the fireworks? He tried to get. Does he go to the gym regularly,
For almost
Janet?
3 years after the crash, hundreds of Eastern Airline employees began to experience
Let's make a couple of those
terrifying
real quick.
phenomena. Now, at first, many of these employees were going to their superiors and reporting what happened to
Is
them.
this open?
But
Oh, that's
very
weird.
early on, Eastern
There we go.
Airlines made it clear that they didn't want anybody to talk
So I got
about
bows,
this. Anytime an
hearts,
employee made one of these reports about this
roses,
phenomenon, they were either sent to
crosses. I'm
psychiatrists
not going to use
or they were
those.
fired.
Some
However,
some
despite
Christmas
this intense
ones.
pressure from Eastern Airlines
Yeah.
to their employees to be
So I think the
about what
bows
was
are the
going on
cutest.
inside their ranks, there were still some very brave employees
I'm gonna
who
make
had
one of
first-hand
each. There's some,
experience
they're like
with this
different
terrifying phenomenon.
sizes. They're all pretty much like kind of the same size, but some are a little larger,
Journalists,
some are a little smaller.
and so
So I'm gonna go with the smaller ones that I see.
Keep in mind,
More
the names
traditional
used
shapes
and
as
the
well.
Stories have all been changed. In
And we're
March
just gonna
of
fill these up.
1973, so 3 months after Flight 401 had crashed in the Everglades, an Eastern Airlines flight attendant named Ginny was assigned to a flight from New York.
All right, I think that's gonna be enough for
Working
that
with her
one.
on this flight
I shake
was
it
her
out.
close friend and fellow flight attendant, a woman named Denise. Neither of these 2 women were on Flight 401 when it crashed.
You grab a
Plane
dotting
these 2
tool.
women were working on
Dotting
the flight
tools
to
work
Florida
really well
was
at
called
filling
number
these, I
318
think. I enjoy
by Eastern
using them
Airlines,
when I need
and
to.
it was an L-1011, just like Flight 401 had been. In fact, plane number 318
So that
actually had
was
some
the
original parts
purple
from
one,
Flight
purple
401.
in their mind.
Because it would turn out, after that huge investigation was done
And
on
let's
the
do
crash,
a pink
the
one
investigators
as
discovered
well.
lots of parts from Flight 401 were still in pretty good shape. And so after rigorously testing them and ensuring they did good work, those parts were actually installed on other L-1011 jets in the Eastern Airlines fleet. Now, for the record,
I always
this
have
is
to
not
store
considered
these standing up, otherwise
these
they
parts
leak.
were extremely expensive, and they worked perfectly fine, and they were not involved in causing Flight 401 to crash. And so no one batted an eye when Eastern Airlines put these parts on their other planes. So Ginny and Denise, along with several other Eastern Airlines flight attendants, board plane number 318, and after takeoff, the flight attendants began going through the
Alright, these
long
look good.
process of getting food and drink for the nearly 200
You see that?
flight.
They're filled. I'm gonna put it in my LED lamp and cure it for a minute. Probably only needs 30 seconds, but I'd rather just be safe, you know?
And then the other flight attendants
Are you going to the fireworks tonight, Janet?
Second level of the plane where the kitchen was, preparing all the food and drinks. And so at some point during this process, Denise, who was up on the main level helping with taking orders, realized she didn't have anything to do. She had taken all the orders she could, and so she
Starting
decided
to
she would
warm
head
up a
down
little
to
bit.
the second level to the kitchen where her good friend Ginny was to see if she could help her. But ironically, as Denise got in the elevator,
Let's start filing while we're waiting on those bows to cure. I mean, we can't do anything with them until later anyway. Gotta get the filing done. I like to do all hand filing.
Denise needed any help, and so the two women literally passed each other in their elevators, but didn't see each other.
It doesn't take that long, and especially working with a a solid or a shimmer dip such as this. Just filing around it, it's turning pink.
And so after a couple of minutes, Ginny would leave.
And the filing should be pretty straightforward and easy today because it's such an easy dip to work with.
Next, you need to have a basic understanding of the layout of these second levels. So when you come down on either of those two elevators,
this is a 180 grit file that I just pretty much use to go all around every edge of my nail. I always start up at the top at the cuticle and like to come down the sidewalls and finish with the free edge.
And then on the other side, on the right side, was a row of cabinets and cupboards. If you were to walk down the kitchen straight towards the front of the plane, you would eventually reach a wall that separated the kitchen to the lounge area, and there was a door slightly off to the right side on this wall that you could walk through to get into the lounge. So if you were standing in the kitchen and you
better not lose a nail today before I'm done with this mani. I might go nuts.
You would have to actually go over to the door and poke your head through to get a full unobstructed view of the lounge. And on the lounge was a couple of sofas and chairs kind of arranged in a circle.
Hey, looking good.
Back in the elevator and just made her way back downstairs to continue looking for
Janet, are you going to fireworks tonight?
The doors open up. She looks out into the
Do you have nice weather today? Because we don't. Even the high is only supposed to be, I think, 76 today. Which I'm not complaining about that, but not typical July 4th weather. So I feel bad for anybody around here who went away like to the ocean for the 4th.
And because Ginny felt so confident that Denise was down there, she actually didn't start by calling out for Denise.
Because Sunday it rained too.
And looking into the lounge to make sure Denise was there. Instead, Ginny just turned to the left, went to the ovens, and began preparing food for the attendants upstairs. And as she's making these plates of food, Ginny would periodically look over at the closed door leading into the lounge, kind of expecting it to open up at any point and see Denise walk out. But after a couple of minutes, no one had opened the door from the lounge, and Ginny was thinking to herself,
that was
I'm
pretty
quite
good.
over here. If anybody was down here, wouldn't they come out of the lounge and just see who it was? And because Ginny, again, had this really intense feeling that she was not alone down there, she began to think, wait a minute, is Denise playing a practical joke on me? Is she hiding in the lounge?
So again, same thing. I just rock the cuticle, rock the file,
And so the second Ginny
around the cuticle. And this will perfect anything that's not perfect. You know what I mean? Help to perfect. You can also use an ergo file, which works great around the cuticle area.
However, the longer she stayed down there, the stronger.
Hope Brandis is enjoying her vacation. She deserves it.
She's completely turned around, just scanning all around the kitchen. Really, at this point,
Hopefully she'll kind of be around checking in. I think she will be.
Ginny just began walking over to the door that would lead into the lounge. And so when she reached the door, her heart was racing like mad. She reached down to the handle, she turned it, she pushed it open, and she poked her head in real quick. And there was no one in the lounge. But immediately, the second her head was in that room, that feeling that someone was down there with her spiked, and she got chills all over her body. And she ran into the back of the lounge and looked behind all of the chairs and sofas, praying at this point that Denise was going to be down there. But after looking all over the back of the lounge, there was no one there.
Hey, I just gotta do my thumb.
Turns around, and she's
This dip applied really nice.
because now she's on the very far
Very
end
nice.
of the lounge. There's no one in the lounge. She knows there's
Her dips are on the pricier side. I think they were like $9. Some might have been $9.50, and she only sells minis. She doesn't sell samples either. But the quality seems to be there, and her dips certainly are beautiful.
Left side of the lounge and put her back up against the wall to make sure no one could be behind her. And then she began slowly inching her way along the left wall towards the door that was now open that would lead back into the kitchen. And as she's slowly shimmying along, her view of the kitchen is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the whole time she's thinking, I'm going to see someone in the kitchen because this sensation that someone is down here with me is not going away. But when she finally gets to the door and crosses into the kitchen, there's still no one there. And so she makes a run at that point to the elevator. She starts hitting the button. And as she's hitting the button, she's turning around. And she has that awful feeling that someone's right behind her. And then finally
Looks
the car
good.
comes down. She hops inside the elevator. She shuts the doors. She hits the button. And she begins
Yeah,
to go
everything
back.
looks
When
good.
the elevator cart got back to the main level,
Guys, Britt's not feeling well, so if you feel, want to send her a DM, just wishing her better. Just wanted to put that out there. Nobody has to, of course, just if you wanted to.
What's going on? And Ginny would just say, I don't know. I can't tell you what's going on. I don't know. But Mildred, instead of asking follow-up questions, just said, Ginny, you need to come with me. And so Ginny would follow Mildred, who led them back around behind the elevators to the space in the back of the plane, kind of out of view of the passengers. And there, Ginny would find Denise.
Okay.
And Denise looked pale as a ghost. She was sweating and looked totally shaken. It would turn out when Ginny left the lower level for the first time to come up to the main level to look for
She's
Denise,
off.
and learned that Denise was not up there, that Denise had actually gone down to look for Ginny.
This is what they're looking like right now. I'm almost afraid to use my ergo file because when I used it yesterday, that's when my nail popped off. Guess I'll just be a little more gentle.
Would say when she got off the elevator into the kitchen, there was no one down there, but immediately she believed Ginny had to be down there because of this strong sense that she was not alone down there. However,
Hey, Chastity.
into the lounge, she didn't see anyone.
Lasted 20
And so
minutes.
she shut the door, she ran back to the elevators.
Oh, you're not going, Janet? The fireworks look there. Yeah, we're not going to ours either. We went last year and it wasn't worth it. Especially there was like nothing else to do there.
Anything like this before in their lives,
Except just sit and wait for the fireworks to start.
totally independent of each other, just a couple of minutes apart. In the exact
They have a
same
huge
space.
thing in October on Columbus Day weekend, our city, called Autumn Fest. That's their big thing. There's fireworks, different bands all weekend long, carnival. There's all different kinds of vendors selling things, handmade things, or candles, or t-shirts, or candy, or jewelry, that kind of stuff. Things for your house.
Like most of the passengers had arrived and taken their seats, the senior flight attendant, whose name was Sis, began counting the people on board the plane to make sure they had everyone. And after counting up and down the rows, she realized their head count was off by one. They had one too many people. And so when Sis began recounting, she actually quickly identified the discrepancy. Sis was standing in first class in the aisle, and as she was counting down the left side of first class passengers, she noticed there was an Eastern Airlines captain seated in one of the seats. And so immediately Sis thought, oh, okay, I don't recognize this person, but since he's in uniform, he must be dead.
Okay,
Deadheading
that's
is a
buff.
fairly common practice for airline employees, where if they need to be on a particular flight but are not physically at the origin airport, they will just hop on another company flight that happens to be going to the airport they need to go
So
to.
you can see it's
And
changed off the nails. Super pretty dip.
Until they were literally on the plane.
Again, this one's called Fizzy from Polish'd Glam.
And then climb on board. And so Sis assumed that was exactly what this man had done, and that was why he was unaccounted for, and it was why they had this extra person. And so she just needed to get his name to account for him. And so
Oh yeah, Chastity, I like you, Manny. You did do red, white, and blue after all, huh? But in a classy way.
But the captain just continued to stare straight ahead and didn't even seem to register that Sis was talking to him, despite the fact that Sis was right on top of him and speaking very, very clearly, and nobody else was talking. And so Sis, who was aware of the fact that this guy clearly should have heard her, just kind of waited for a second and then just asked again, hey, what's your name? I need to make sure that you are in fact Deadhead. But again, this captain just sat there without moving and didn't remotely react to Sis. Now, by this point, another
I just want to get my free edges just to ensure they're all nice and smooth.
Interaction with this Eastern Airlines captain. And so Diane walked over and listened as Sis, for a third time, tried to get this guy's attention. And still did
Yeah,
nothing.
I see
And so
something
Diane
right
and Sis, they
here.
start looking at each other like, what do we do about this? And at some point, Sis just says, okay, I'm going to go tell the captain, he can deal with this. And so Diane
That looks
in the aisle
better.
next to the silent seated captain, while Sis turned and walked towards the cockpit, and she told the captain his name was George. And so George, he leaves the cockpit with Sis by his side, and they start walking down the aisle back towards where this guy was and where Diane was. And by the time they get there, 6 other passengers kind of in the general vicinity had noticed something strange was going on. And so they were all kind of turned around in their seats, looking at this captain who was sitting there, and Diane and Sis and George kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. And so George and Sis, they walked right up alongside Diane.
I'm just looking to see if there's any acrylic on my skin. I was going to use this file to get it off, but I just had a little on my thumb. That was it.
And so George goes down and he sees this guy's face for the first time, and he falls over and he goes, "Oh my God, that's Bob Loft." The
All
same
right.
Bob Loft who had died on Flight 401, the captain of Flight 401. George had known Bob really well.
I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol to clean these off.
Sis, Diane, or the 6 other passengers that were all watching could do anything. The seated, silent
You can get up this, at home, get up and rinse your hands off, and then come back to the table. Because you're going to be doing your top coat momentarily, so you want your nails to be free of any dust.
And insist they were very shaken at what they saw, but they knew
So pretty.
So they tried to calm down the passengers, but then very quickly they organized a search of the plane.
So now they're back to cold mode.
Disappear into thin air. This guy has to be somewhere on the plane. And so for over an hour, the passengers were told to stay in their seats.
No, I didn't. Well, maybe I did. Now that you say that. But what, they weren't like short.
And so after a very long delay, plane number 318,
Maybe short for you.
Passengers, flight crew eventually rumbled out onto the runway and took off. When they landed in Miami, the first
So now the next step is to go in with a second layer of Activita here. So just put a thin layer on your nails.
In fact, the logbook where these reports were kept was conspicuously missing a couple of weeks later when some other employees of the airline heard about this vanished person and wanted to...
I think I'm going to top coat first, and then, the bows. I forgot about them. And then see about putting a bow on.
From the top was
But I don't know that either of these colors are going to be good because maybe I'll get the pine gel, the purple pine gel. Let me see what number that was. That's more like this purple.
Seen the reports before the logbook went missing, and they would tell other people that what they read was terrible.
157.
Over the next 2 years, there would be an astounding number of other
Alright, come back here. You may be getting used.
Within Eastern Airlines fleet. However, the strange events only occurred on L-1011 jets that had parts on them from the crashed Flight 401. Some of these unexplained events included more sightings of the silent seated captain who looked just like
Alright, so let's make a purple bow.
Executive
I do need a palette to do this one.
Right in front of him, the executive freaked out,
let
ran
me
off the plane, and demanded the plane be searched top to bottom. But like the last
This
search,
is an actual,
on another occasion,
what are they called?
the catering company
Gia?
that loaded
Or
food
maybe
directly
not.
into
It's called
the
something
second
else,
level
but it's
of
a
these L10
rock.
levels, basically right into the
So I'm going to put a little
One of the
bit
staff
of
spotted a man
this
wandering around the lower level that looked just like Don Repo, a flight engineer
in here
who
because
appeared
I
in Flight
don't
001.
think, unless
And
maybe
when
I
the
could.
staff member spoke to this man
Oh, that
who
one
looked
in.
like Don Repo turned towards him and then vanished into thin air. The catering company was so scared when this happened that they refused to go back into the plane, and it caused a massive delay. On another flight, on board plane number 318, the
I think it'd be
pilot
easier
began hearing banging coming from the
to do it this way with a
when the
dotting
pilot got
tool.
up, he opened up
Like
the
I
helmet,
started
went
it
down below and shined his light.
a little bit here.
But when he went to climb back up into the cockpit, he looked up, and standing in the cockpit was once again Don Repo looking straight down at him, who then promptly vanished right in front of him. On another flight, a female passenger and coach, who had been quiet the entire flight, suddenly began screaming hysterically. And when they went up to her and asked her what was wrong, she
Okay.
was pointing at the seat next to her. Instead, a man had suddenly appeared right next to her. He did not walk in. He just
Whoops.
appeared next to her, and then when she began screaming, he vanished right in front of her. This woman was so upset that when they landed finally in Phoenix, Arizona,
All right.
she had to be
One more
restrained
cure
in a
here.
straitjacket when they pulled her off the plane. But as terrifying as all of these events were,
See how this
there was
goes.
at least one instance where these apparitions appeared to be helpful to the people on the plane. One captain said he walked into the cockpit, and standing in there was flight engineer.
Oh my
Don Repo.
goodness.
And Dawn promptly
Oh,
told the
that's your
captain
longhand,
about
Chastity? What'd you do? Cut him bow back?
before Dawn vanished in front of this captain. Now, this captain was horrified at what he had just seen, but he did actually go down and have that engine looked at, and sure enough, the malfunction that Don Repo said it had.
Let's wipe
had.
these off and
Then
top coat
finally,
them.
in 1974, all of these strange events
So
just came to an
after
abrupt
you
stop.
apply your
Now,
second
no one
layer of
knows exactly why,
activator,
but in 1974,
just do yourself a favor, like I'm doing here, and just wipe the nails down with a lint-free wipe.
That year, they went into every single one of their L-1011 jets, and they removed any parts that had been placed on them from the crashed Flight 401. Despite the fact none of those parts were faulty, they were removing perfectly good parts.
And now you can go in with your top coat, and Dip gets 2 layers of top coat.
So that's going to do it.
Your first layer, you want to be pretty quick, 2 to 3 strokes. I always do 3.
And once everyone has their fingertips on the pointer, ask if
Yeah, but don't worry if you miss a little spot here or there. It doesn't matter because it's going to get a second layer anyway.
All notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. We now have a podcast called the Mr. Ballin Podcast that puts out brand new episodes that are exclusive to the podcast on Monday mornings, and on Thursday mornings we put out remastered audio from our best.
Oh, it's turned into pink because of the chemical change, you know, with the activator and the top coat. Look,
and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
so gorgeous. I probably won't see any of that pink though.
Called the Mr. Ballin Foundation that makes it as easy as
I'm gonna go
possible
in a
for
second
you
and do my second layer of top coat. I do not like to let my layers dry in between. I like to pretty much do my second layer immediately after my first. So let's go in and do that. Now here, be a little more careful. Make sure the entire nail is covered. Cap those free edges so your mani doesn't chip.
We also have 2 additional YouTube channels. One is called Mr. Ballin Shorts. The other is called Mr. Ballin and Espanol. We also post near daily content on Facebook and Snapchat. Both of those channels are just called Mr. Ballin. If you want to get in touch with me,
What a
please
pretty
follow me on
thermal.
any major social media platforms.
It's got the purple, the black, the pink, and then the teal shimmer.
The majority of my TMs. We also have some really cool merchandise, so head on
Very
over to
unique.
shop MrBallin.com to have a look. And if you have a story suggestion, please submit it to our subreddit, just called Mr. Ballin. It's linked in the description below. So, whether I see you on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, other YouTube channels, the podcast, wherever, just know that I really
So we're gonna
appreciate
wait for
the
these
support.
to dry. You'll see the color even out more, you know. I imagine maybe we might see a little bit of a hint of pink up at on the nail bed, but I'm guessing mostly it's going to be that purple color. Oh, to your natural length, which was, oh wow. So what are you doing? Growing out your natural nail shells today? Are you planning to dip those, or what are you planning? Or you just wanted to chop them?
Today's story is about a hidden message found on the side of the mountain and how its contents changed the lives of 3 people forever. But before we get into today's
Ooh, the
story,
bows.
if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivering story format, you come to the right place because that's all we do. We upload 2 or 3 times a week. So if that's an interest to
You like it,
this
Patty?
week,
Yeah,
you
it's
can lay
pretty.
in my house and warm up both sides of the pillow.
So now we have 3 different colored bows we can work with, right?
So you don't miss any of our weekly updates. All right, let's get into today's story.
Here's our purple.
24-year-old Gina Allen and her brand new boyfriend, 28-year-old Brandon Day, could
Hi.
not believe their luck. For the past 48 hours, they had been stranded in the rugged wilderness of the San Jacinto mountain range in California when they looked down into this ravine and they saw a campsite. There was a tarp that had been strung up between 2 trees.
All right,
So they
there we
ran
go.
over to it, hoping that the owner of this campsite would be in there and they could help them get out of these mountains. But when they
Just
got
gotta
to
wait
the
for these to
campsite,
dry, and dip nails dry.
from the looks of it, it
The
looked like
acrylic
someone
itself,
had
when
been
you're
living in
dipping,
this
dries
solitary
fast, like within
underneath
30
this
seconds.
big
And then
roof
dip top
of
coat,
this
it takes about
was a
2
sleeping
minutes.
pad, there was a warm sweater, there was shoes, there was a disposable razor, some kitchen utensils, and
All
there was
right,
a
let me
yellow
put the
backpack. Without
mold
any
away.
hesitation, Brandon and Gina, who were totally
I have some other
and
silicone
exhausted
molds in a
and
box. I
they
can't
started
remember what's in
rifling
them.
through the different things in camp, hoping to find some things that will help save their life, like a cell phone or a radio, or even just a lighter or some matches or some food. And so
Things are all
Brandon
messed
focused on all the items that are just kind of laying
All right,
out
I can't mess with it right now. I'm afraid I'm gonna ruin my nails.
So Gina, she opens up this backpack and she starts pulling out all these maps that are inside. And she notices on the margins of these maps in the white space there is handwriting. It's done in pen.
This one's
and
not
it
dry
looks
yet.
like it's been written fairly recently. Now, at first, she didn't read any of the notes
Like
that
some
were on
white
these
on it.
margins. She was just kind of pulling them out and stacking them on the ground next to her and continuing
Yeah.
to rummage.
Something
through
got on
these
my
bags.
thumb
But at
right
some
there,
point, at
near the
corner
top
of her
there.
eye, she noticed on the top map that was sitting on the ground next to her, there
Oh,
was
wow.
a particular note at the top of the page that as soon as she saw it, she stopped what she was doing, she turned and looked at it.
I think these ones are dry though, and that's where I would put the bow. So do we want to go with the pink? Do we want to go with the purple? Maybe we do want to go with this pinky purple. I think so. Where should I put it? On my pinky? On my ring finger? Or my middle nail? I can't really put it there and show you guys because it doesn't balance, you know. So I kind of got to decide, throw down some base and make, you know, commit. Let's put it on the middle now. I'm going to use not the bright pink, not the purple. I'm going to use the middle one. And I'm just going to attach it with dip base. So I don't expect it to last beyond today.
Would change their lives and the life of the man who owned this kingdom forever. Before Brandon and Gina ever began their doomed hike into the San Jacinto mountain range, another man, one which neither of them knew, was gearing up for a hike of his own that would take him through the San Jacinto mountain range. His name was John Donovan, and on April 19th, 2005, which was the day he would begin this journey, he was 59 years old. John had absolutely
Gonna hold it down for a few seconds.
And by the time he was 10 years old, he did the orphan.
Hope it doesn't stick to my finger.
By the time John was in his 20s,
Nah,
he had moved to
good.
Virginia, where he had taken a job as a social worker. And despite making a fairly decent salary,
Like that.
he refused to spend
I think it's
any
cute.
money that he absolutely had to. It was a habit he had developed as an orphan child.
Should I put one on the ring finger too, you guys?
No money whatsoever. And as an adult, that habit just never left
Thanks,
him.
Patty.
So as a result, for his entire life, all the way up until he
Should I
got
make
to that
one
height
more
in
for the ring finger, you
2005,
guys?
he never had anything nice.
I think I
Basically had
should.
the exact same outfit virtually every single day. He never owned a car, he never owned a phone, he never owned a computer. And when it came to where he chose to live, he would always live in the most absurdly cheap dwellings possible, which included at one point living in a partially burned down, abandoned savings bank with no heat. John was a proud Irish Catholic. He drank lots of whiskey, he swore like a sailor, and he had no problem speaking his mind, no matter who he was talking to. While he was a lovely person once you got to meet him, his unorthodox lifestyle and his at times rough exterior.
Let's see if I
made it
can
pretty
fill this
difficult for him
up.
to make friends for most of his life.
Oh, I'm using the wrong color.
He wanted to lose some weight, and so
I'm
he
not gonna
decided
keep
to
filling
join
it up.
and to his
I had to pull out my
surprise,
gel
other
liners.
members
Duh.
of his hiking club adored him. They thought he was hysterical, and he made being out on the trail so much more fun and enjoyable. And before long, all these members of this club became John's family that he never had. And so John would go on every single
let's try this
trip his
again.
hiking club went on, no matter what. That was the most important thing to him in his life. When it came to hiking, though, John was a bit of an anomaly. Even though he would hike sometimes over 4,000 miles in any given year, he would still routinely get lost on trails he had been on dozens and dozens of times. But despite being totally self-aware of this fatal flaw in his hiking abilities, John rarely did anything to compensate for it. For example, he didn't bring with him on most hikes a compass, which would be the first
Actually,
thing
let me
he
just
would
give it a
with
little
you
wiggle
to
wiggle.
stay
I think
oriented.
it'll be all right
Also,
and
because he
filled up.
refused to buy a phone,
Just want
he didn't
those
have
little
to pay either if he ever got lost. In fact, John
bowstrings at the bottom filled up. There we go.
A ultralight backpacker, which basically meant he would only pack the absolute bare essentials. And in John's case,
60
sometimes
seconds.
less
We'll
than the
clean
absolute
that
bare
off.
essentials. And despite his friends trying repeatedly to get him to pack more equipment so he was more prepared, he would always say, no, he knows what he's doing, and everything is good. And the truth is, John always did manage to get from point A to point B on all of his hikes. Some of
You
which
think I should too, Patty? Yeah.
completely
All right.
hikes, like the time he hiked the 500-mile-long Colorado Trail, or the time he hiked the 2,175-mile.
I'm gonna put it right in the center the way I did this one.
Skill, but his friends would say John was extremely lucky.
And I'll just attach it with dip base again. This is a beautiful thermal. I wish I didn't mess up my thumb, but nobody's gonna see it except for me. I could go over it with gel, but I'm not going to.
Earlier that day, 2 other hikers had slipped and fallen to their deaths. And John has now slipped on this embankment. He's careening down the sides. He's flailing. He can't stop himself. And then the drawstring on his pants.
It's weird how it's still pink right there, though. I hope it changes that.
So from that point on, John would only wear those pants when he was hiking. He called them his lucky pants. In the spring of 2005, John and one of his very close hiking friends, Ken Baker, who was roughly his age, decided they were going to hike the 2,650-mile-long Pacific
Thank you,
Crest
Patty.
Trail. This trail spanned the entire west coast of the United States.
Gotta be gentle with these. They are a little bit flexible, you know, because they're gel. And they can be broken if you're too rough with them.
It takes the average hiker, if they're going to do this entire trail in one go, about 5 months, unless there's bad weather conditions that impede them along the way. John had been excitedly planning this epically long hike for the better part of the last year. He'd actually typed out 6 pages on his typewriter of this single detail of this hike, down to how many ounces of coffee he would need at every stop along the way. John was especially excited about this particular hike because it was going to be
Give it a
his
little
very
press
first hike
down.
he was doing after his retirement from
Super
being a social worker.
cute.
And apparently
I
John
think.
had huge plans for his retirement. He wanted to travel all over the
Okay.
United States. He wanted to go to Australia, to China, to Russia. He basically wanted to hike at least
That
6
wonky
months
bow
a year
out of
every
there.
single year until he was too
I should
old
probably
to
save
vacation
those for
to use.
something.
But just a couple of days before John and Ken were supposed to fly out to
Alright.
California to begin the Pacific
That we're
Crest Trail,
done.
Ken told John that
I'll
he
put
thought
some
they should actually
cuticle
postpone
oil
the
on,
start
and
of
I
the
wish to
trip
hell I
by
could
about
find
3
my
weeks.
pink,
He said Southern California
my
had
new pink
experienced
nail
their
sleeve. I still
snowiest
haven't
winter
found
in
it.
decades, and so
I'm
it made
really
sense to
stressed
wait
about
a
it.
little bit of extra time to make sure all the snow had melted and that they didn't get caught in any
Let's
sort of
use
freeze.
somewhere in the
Now, John
Keys
was
from Dip
totally
With
not
Me.
happy.
This is an
He had
awesome
spent so
summertime
much
scent,
time
you
thinking
guys.
about this
I
trip
do have
and
a
was
cut
so
on my
excited about
index
it that
finger.
it
I'm
just
gonna have
really
to edit
made
it
him
out
longer.
because
And so
I
he
did it
told
with
Ken,
my
sorry,
e-file.
I'm
I
going
nicked
on a
myself
different
way up
timeline,
here.
whether I go alone
I
or
didn't
not.
even feel
And
it.
so on April
Well, I
19th,
think it was my
2005,
e-file
John
because I
and
only
his
noticed like
office working
later
as a social
on it
worker
was
and his
bleeding,
coworkers
you
were
know, but I
very
was sitting
small
here,
retirement party,
so I
and he literally
definitely did
left
it
the
while
office,
sitting
went
here.
straight to the airport, and he flew to Southern California all alone. When he got there, he took a chance and reached out to one of his other hiking friends, a 48-year-old tool salesman named Lynn Paget, and asked him,
And
hey,
this
I know you live
Manny
in
is
the
the
area.
Fairy
Would you be
Glamour
interested in coming on
Manny
at
with
least
the
part
flowers
of
that I
the Pacific Crest
posted
Trail with me?
this
Start getting
morning.
into
This
the
color
tickets, and
is
John was
super
extremely excited.
gorgeous.
Lynn said, you know what?
And like
Well,
I
I'd
said in
love
the
to come
post,
along with
pictures
you.
don't
Two of
do the
them made their
sparkle
way
and
over to
it justice,
Campo,
and it
California,
doesn't.
right on the border of
It's
Mexico,
very
and
sparkly,
began their hike along the Pacific Crest Trail. But after going
kind
through
of
about
wedding
100
nailish,
miles,
you
Lynn's
know,
feet
but
started swelling
it will
so
work
badly
great
that
as a
he could
topper
not
over
start.
something too.
So from that
Like
point on,
one
he was
layer, you know what I
John.
mean?
The San Jacinto Mountain Range is the first
They
major
all
mountain
would.
range that the northbound Pacific Crest Trail
Oh my
hikers
god, I'm
encounter,
stressing.
and
It's gonna go bad.
statistically,
Or
it's
what?
actually the most dangerous
I was
portion
planning to go
of
out and
the
do
Pacific Crest
pictures,
Trail,
and I got
as
that pink
15% of all
splotch on my
fatalities that
nail
occur
there.
along this steep trail occur in the San Jacinto Mountain. It's a very steep mountain with a rapid rise in elevation from the desert
That
floor
ain't
all the way up to over 10,000
I
feet,
might
which
have to
means
go
in
with like a
summer,
white
even
sleeve
when
or
it's
something.
extremely hot down around the base of this mountain, it will probably be windy and snowing at the top. John reached the base
I think
of the
I'm
San
gonna
Jacinto
do
Mountain
white.
Range on May 2nd, and as he began his slow climb up, all of the hikers he was encountering were all talking about the same thing. There was apparently some big snowstorm that was due to hit the San Jacinto Mountain Range in the next couple of days, and so all of these hikers were actually evacuating the mountain to go to this little town to wait out the storm.
What do we want to do
Was
for
that they
ring?
get caught
Silver
on
or
Fuller
gold?
Ridge when the storm hit. Fuller Ridge is towards the top of the San Jacinto Mountain Range.
Maybe I'll
It's
do
probably
my
the most
butterfly
dangerous
ring.
part of the entire
If I can get it
mountain
over the
range.
bow.
It's basically this totally exposed, very steep section where if you lose your footing, there's nothing to stop
Alright,
you
I got
from tumbling down.
This has a ring guard on it, so. Is it too big and obnoxious?
Storm. He was just going to continue up this mountain, go over Fuller's Ridge, and carry on along the Pacific Crest Trail. And so for the rest of the day, he just continued up the mountain and eventually made camp about halfway up. He actually stopped
Oops.
near two other hikers that
I
were
broke
also going
it.
to push through
My
despite
bow.
the storm. Was
And
a
it looks like it
46-year-old
wasn't
nurse
fully
named Anna
cured because
Davis and her son, 20
it's like all leaking
they were both
underneath.
very experienced high altitude climbers, and they had
Crap.
all the gear and they were very well prepared. And so that night, after both parties had set up their camp, they struck up a friendly conversation,
Alright,
during which John
that's
made
okay.
some dismissive comments about Connie's parenting style that really agitated her, although it didn't seem like John really noticed he had upset her. And so needless to say, the next morning, Connie and her son had packed up and were long gone by the time John was leaving. So John just got up, looked at the sky, it was still clear, although he did see some gray clouds rolling in. So
I might not be able to get all this off, but I do believe I can just stick a bow over it, you know.
So he put his backpack on and he began walking up the trail.
Alright, one more time.
A little while later, when he was nearing Fuller Ridge, it was still several miles away, three very well-equipped hikers that he had not seen before came charging down the path towards him. And John stopped them and he said, hey, how is it up there? What's the weather like? What's Fuller Ridge like? And they kind of looked at John and sized him up, looking up and down, and they saw that he's got light clothes on, he's got sneakers on, he doesn't have trekking poles, he just looks totally ill-prepared prepared for what he's walking into. And they said to him, I don't think it's a good idea for you to continue on here. This storm is going to hit any time now.
So this happens to me a lot, you know what I mean? A lot of times with nail art, things don't go as planned. I think I should cure this longer than 1 minute this time. And
he was totally dead set on carrying on.
hopefully
So the three men that told him not to go eventually just said, okay, good luck.
we won't have any issues. I'm surprised it wasn't fully cured. If I threw it in the garbage, it's long gone, Patty, because it's been missing for several days,
John started to have doubts about his plan.
like 4 or 5 days.
A lot of snow on the ground where he was from previous snowstorms, and that was making it hard to see the trail as it was. And now with all this additional snow starting to come down,
Maybe I'll use this ring.
Cover up the trail, and he would lose it. And since he really kind of had a penchant
Said
for
silver, Patty, yeah.
this was a real concern, but he was still very stubborn. And so despite these second thoughts, he just continued on along. And so after a while, he got to within maybe 1 or 2 miles of Fuller Ridge when he spotted up ahead of him 2 other hikers that seemed to be going in that direction. And so he ran up to them and yelled for them to stop. At this point, the snow is really starting to come down, and the trail is completely wiped out.
If I can find a ring to cover up my cut, that would be better.
So he runs up to them. When he gets up close, you can see it's actually Connie Davis and her son Alex from the night before. And so Connie is obviously not thrilled to see John again. But when he explained that he was having a really hard time staying on the trail and, could he just tag along with them, Connie said, you know what, that's just fine.
If I do, I'll do like my
She was not going up to Fuller Ridge. Instead, she was taking a more circuitous route that would bypass the ridge. It would take a lot
I'll do my
longer,
chain ring or something if I'm gonna do silver. That's not going away. That pink spot. I'm gonna cure it for another minute.
He would go to Fuller Ridge, and they could go their separate way. And so
It's like, oh, I should put a bow there to hide that.
Now, Connie and Alex, they had crampons on their shoes.
I'm sure it'll go back. It's just taking time.
Nice. Trekking poles, they all the right gear. So
Nothing's jumping out at me for rings.
Meanwhile, John.
Oh, what about?
High-speed equipment. He did have crampons that he tried to put onto his shoes, but because he had sneakers that were not lined up to this.
Now I forget what about what, Tara?
Caused him to constantly stumble and fall on the ground.
Oh, yeah. What about those silver rings? Where are they? I thought they were right over here.
Go down and around, which would put them away from Fuller Ridge. And John was going to continue, like he said he would, up the
Alright, that's weird. I know I just saw him over here this morning.
Towards the ridge. So Connie and Alex wait at the stream. They're turned around and they're looking back down the trail at John, who's fallen way behind.
I don't see him anymore.
And as they're looking at him, they're thinking, "This is
Alright, this just cured for 2 minutes.
to finally catch up to us."
So it should be good. Ring.
Anyways, she figured, you know what, John has made his intentions completely clear. He said he is going up to Fuller Ridge. He is an adult. He is healthy. He can do whatever he wants. And so she yelled.
I might do gold, Patty. So I have some gold rings in here that are super cute.
Best of luck to you. And then Connie and Alex disappeared around the corner. Once John's hiking partners had
The
gone,
butterfly.
John gonna try to go up
Here's
Fuller
another
Ridge,
butterfly.
But by that point, the snow was practically blinding. And so at this point, John decided, you know what, I do need to turn around and go back down the mountain.
Stuck to
back
this
to
ring now.
town,
Alright, whatever. I'm not gonna mess with that.
And so John turns around and starts trying to backtrack along the trail.
Ring. Alright, we'll see.
But the trail is gone. The snow has completely whited it out. And there's no other hikers anywhere nearby.
Alright, let's try and get this on.
And so for several hours,
I'm gonna put the base on where the bow was before.
And then when the sun went down, he really had no idea where he was. And so instead of trying to stay on this trail that at this point he really didn't think he was on, he looked out away from the mountain, and way down below, he saw this big white cluster of lights. Even through the falling snow, he could clearly see those were lights of a city. And so he decided he would use that as kind of like his North Star, and he would just continuously walk downhill towards those lights. And so for several hours, he just began walking towards these lights, narrowly avoiding drop-offs and climbing over boulders and avoiding trees, animals, and finally he got to this very critical point. In
Alright,
his
let me
journey
open
down
up this
his
ring
life.
so I can get it
He reached
on.
this area called Long
There
Valley,
we go.
where he had a decision to make. He could either
It's adjustable, this butterfly ring, FYI, guys.
into this ravine that once he did, he would not be able to climb back out again. It's too steep. Or he could turn around and hike way back up the mountain.
Ooh, that will
and go
cover my
some
cut.
other direction. But at this point, he had really no idea what direction was the best direction. All he knew is he needed to go down the mountain because his situation was getting worse and worse by the second. If he didn't find
Alright.
shelter soon, he might get hypothermia and just
I think we're gonna go with these rings today.
So he laid on his stomach, he lowered himself down over the edge, dropped down.
Okay, Janet.
Once he stood up,
Bye.
he just continued walking down the mountain. And at some point, he
All right, sorry, Patty. I went with gold.
and as he
Yeah, the
started
name of the nail fee sleeve is Barbie. It's the bright pink one. And if I don't find it, then I have to buy it when she reopens. I feel so horrible. Like, I don't know where else to
And after a
look.
while, he noticed up ahead, his stream just kind of disappeared. And so he
Unless,
walked
like,
to
the
farther,
garbage in
dropped
here.
in the water and
But
disappeared.
no, I wouldn't have put it there.
100-foot cliff that he was now standing in front of. He had
I
walked
looked in
through
something
the
to see if it
edge of water,
fell,
and there was
you know what I
absolutely no
mean?
way to lower himself
or if
down
it
the
fell
water.
out of the box and it was up on the shelf. But no, couldn't find
So he looked to
anything.
his left, he looked to his right.
Okay, so don't forget, I use Dip With Me Cuticle Oil. My code's Tara15. I don't have a code for Polish'd Glam, but yeah, you can see all three colors. That's incredible. I've never seen that on my nails with a triple thermal, that like just in its natural state that you can actually see all three colors. But you can on my pinky, 3 different shades. So that's pretty cool. I like it. I just really hope my index finger fixes itself, you guys, because I bumped it. It's not smooth here. Wonder if I should file off the top coat, reactivate it, and top coat it again. I'm gonna end the video, but I think I am gonna do that. So, thank you guys for being here. Happy Independence Day. Stay safe today and tonight, whatever you guys decide to do. And she's on vacation for a month right now, loony little Patty. Yeah, just stay safe, have a great day, all of that. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Love you all. Bye.
He figured he would keep a sort of diary. That way, if he didn't get out of here, someone would figure out what happened.